Has anyone else noticed that the melanin deficient have quite literally aligned themselves with the devil, biblically speaking? Think about it. They've taken the Bible and Christianity as a whole, knowingly corrupted it, took it around the globe, indoctrinating and fear-mongering people into doing their bidding under the guise of being good Christians or good followers of Christ and not going to hell. And they're still using that tactic now. The Bible says that the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy, does it not? What all have they done? They've stolen everything. They've stolen land, people, money, credit for other people's work, finite resources. Right now, they're actively stealing history by rewriting it and whitewashing it and eradicating anything that paints them in a negative light. Yet they've convinced the masses that petty theft and looting is worse than the atrocities they've committed. And even more audaciously, they've made Black people the face of crime in this country. They've killed millions of people in some of the most heinous ways, and they're actively defending the extermination of a certain group of people right now. They're destroying the planet, burning the Amazon, which are the lungs of the earth, killing us off to make more money. And then they go to the pulpit on Sunday and preach about how the love of money is the root of all evil. But look at what you've done. You play into those systems every single day. Those systems of marginalization and oppression, you play into them every day. They will preach that and then come up with another way to harm us for profit. Look at the systems that have been created due to greed. For-profit prison systems, this murderous healthcare system, predatory credit systems. Homelessness is being created because it's now being criminalized. So if you're homeless, it basically translates to slave labor. Because if you're homeless, you go to a homeless shelter, there's no room, they're going to kick you out. If you're on the streets homeless, which is now a crime in a lot of places, you're going to go to jail, where you're going to be forced to do free labor, slave labor. They'll say all of these things and then stand on these type of principles. And then so many of us still look at them as symbols of success. I don't look at them and aspire to be anything that they are or have anything that they have because I know how they've come to acquire it. And y'all, this may be a little harsh, but it's time for everybody to grow the fuck up. Religious principles are keeping us back. And I'm not saying that everything in the Bible is wrong. There's certain things that I apply. But there are certain tenets of that faith that I'm not going to apply to my life because they don't resonate with me. When it comes to helping the poor, loving people, not judging people, the actual teachings of Christ, absolutely. But anything meant to hold me back or make me feel like I'm less than, I'm not keeping that. And we got to get real about that. Look at the way that the stories are set up. You're telling me that I, as a female, a giver of life, came from the rib of a man? That's a way to make you think that you came second when you didn't. Women are the givers of life. Female is the default. Every mammal, including humans, in their embryonic stage began as female. They may develop into male later, but female is the default. So how did you create me if I'm the reproductive blueprint? It's not true. And we got to stop believing stuff just because we've been told this since we were a child. If it defies your sense of logic and reasoning, throw it out. And I've always been able to do that. That's why deconstructing wasn't hard for me. As soon as something doesn't make sense, I can throw it away. That's how it's supposed to be because that creates balance. Now, religious people will tell you that you're being lukewarm, but that's another tactic to make you push yourself into religious extremism, which isn't healthy either. You need to be able to think critically. Religion does not push that. It wants you to do the opposite. And you got to stop falling for that. Like I said, you don't have to throw away every single thing, but there are certain things that don't resonate and shouldn't resonate because they're false. Look at the story of Adam and Eve. The reason that misogyny and patriarchy are perpetuated and run rampant in this country is because of principles and stories like this. You're telling me that God gave Adam a specific order. Eve gave him the fruit of the tree that he wasn't supposed to eat from. He ate it knowing he wasn't supposed to, and now we all live in a world of sin. Women go through unbearable childbirths and labor pains because they're being punished. Punished for what? Adam's decision. So they've been holding us accountable for the actions of men forever. And those stories set that precedent. And so many women will peddle these stories, and I don't understand that. You're peddling your own oppression. They have reduced you to basically child bearer and slave, and you guys are okay with that. It's time to start thinking for ourselves, y'all. I understand that it's hard to break those shackles, but you have to. You don't have to throw out God. You don't have to throw out Christ, but throw out anything that's going to keep you in bondage. That's where we need to be, and we all should be on the same page with that. Too many of us have been conditioned to just take things in that aren't true. I've seen people on here battling or debating creationism and evolution as if both are backed by empirical evidence when only one is. The other is basically folklore. But they're arguing, and you can see the cognitive dissonance just whipping their ass because they just can't bring themselves to believe that they've been taught something that wasn't true. We're too old for that, y'all. We're too grown to be following things like that when we know better. So we have to do better, period. That's just what it is. And like I said, I don't know how people can look to these people, see the things that they've acquired, see it as abundance when you know how they've come to acquire it. Nothing about what they have or the way they got it makes me want it in that same way. And it's hard for me to want to share a faith with people who I know don't give a damn about me until they need me to be on their side. Is that not what we've been seeing our entire lives? We got to get it together, y'all. Anything that doesn't make sense, throw it out. You're not being lukewarm, you're being balanced, and that's where we need to be.